Hello there, lovers and losers. Welcome to Basically Misled. I'm Dagny.
And I'm Day.
We give advice. 50% is life-changing, 50% will leave you crying in a stairwell by the end of the day. You decide which is which.
Come procrastinate with us while we chatter endlessly about things you could probably just Google.
Why do I always want to make the dun-dun-dun sound after we finish our intro?
I don't know, but I feel like it's fitting for this one particularly.
It's not always appropriate. That's like...
No.
That's like incoming doom.
Yeah.
That's the sound. That's that
right.
Sound. The incoming doom sound.
I mean, maybe that's all of our podcasts, though.
I don't think so.
No.
We crack a joke or two.
Right.
We keep it light, fresh, hip with the kids.
Oh, it's so hip with the kids. Yep.
Anyway, so the premise for this episode is a little weird because we messed up, guys. We're telling you about it.
Yep.
Keeping it honest.
I really messed up.
We had a really good episode recorded that was about stress reduction, and it was part 1 of 2 episodes, and this is part 2, except for you don't get to listen to the first part because the audio was like all messed up.
Yeah. We decided to record in a different thing for that one because I thought we would have a brilliant new way of doing things and it would be easier, and instead it completely ruined the audio, and I think it's fine. Like,
just
honestly,
imagine it being really good.
Yeah.
Because it was very good.
It was, like, probably one of our best.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so there was part 1, which was at the very beginning of the quarter where we made goals for what we were going to do to stay less stressed out this quarter. And to, like, stay on top of our work and, like, stay, like, healthy and stuff.
Right. Basically to keep us mentally, physically, like, healthy, focused, and to not be stressed the entire quarter.
Right. So.
But things happened. No.
Right. This episode, how did we do, Day? How did you do?
Well, you thought I had failed completely, apparently, which...
Well, okay, let's define success. Is success doing what our... Actually, so let's just do a quick overview of what our plan was. Each of our plans were. You don't have to do, like, all the details.
Right.
But so mine was to, like, start homework, like, before the day it's due. And to do yoga. And to, like, try to, like, talk more in class so I'm, like, more engaged.
Right.
And do you remember anything else?
I don't. I feel like those were your main points.
Those were my main... Well, okay, so it all kind of came down to, like, being really, like, more engaged in class.
Yeah.
Starting work, like, before... Oh, I also said I was going to work on campus a little bit, but that didn't really happen.
like you were going to work in the library a lot.
Yeah. But also just, like, working out and, like, eating good.
Right.
Kind of. Like, just, like, pretty... That was pretty much, like, the general... Oh, also... Yeah. Like, make time for, like, doing fun things.
Right.
Like, we had a lot of, like, just fun activities where you're, like, away from school and you're, like, making time to just, like, laugh. Yeah. So that was...
Did we laugh this quarter?
Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, so
mine,
what were yours?
I think, was also doing yoga. And making sure I wasn't procrastinating too much, because that happens to me constantly. And so, like, actually starting work, like, when I get the assignment, not, like, the week it's due. I was going to try and do all the readings and participate more in seminar. And, I don't know if making friends with my classmates was one of them. Why do I feel like that was one of them? I don't think it was.
It might have been one of mine, maybe? Or, like...
Maybe.
Oh, get a study group was one of mine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think mine was mainly also to, like, not focus, like, not get too stressed out. Not overwork myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
So success first is based on did we do the things that we said we were going to for de-stressing?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And then we can talk about how stressed we actually were. But first, did we do the things we said we were going to?
See, in this sense, I think I failed a little bit.
Yeah. Go through all of your things and, like, say which ones you did, which ones you didn't
Well,
do.
we did do yoga. But it was on and off. It wasn't consistent throughout the... Like, there were weeks where we would go without doing yoga, and then all of a sudden we did yoga, like, every single day for a week, and then stopped. You know?
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't consistent. Okay. So as far as, like, doing assignments before the deadline, I was good with some of them. But papers I wasn't good with. And that's what's really stressed me out. Like, I was on, for most, actually, I had all of my clay pieces done by their due date. Like, I was on top of my clay work. I'll give a pat on my back for that. But I didn't really do the papers on. Like, I turned everything in on time. I just was, like, working up until the deadline for them. And I also kind of didn't do that much of the readings. Like, I started in the beginning, but it just was so much fucking reading that, like, I don't have time to spend, like, 6 to 9 hours on readings for the week. Like, I don't have that much time for it. So I kind of didn't do that readings. Because it was, like, 2 chapters, like, 3 days a week, like, back to back, and I was like, I don't fucking have time for this, so I didn't do readings, but I still survived, and, I mean, I think I did okay, also a lot of it was stuff I already kind of knew, so it was fine, but, yeah, what were my other ones? Oh, not getting stressed out. I failed on that one.
No, not getting stressed out is what we're going to talk about next.
Oh.
Because that wasn't a goal. You didn't have a goal of don't get stressed out. Your goals were to do things.
Well, okay, I think I had a goal to keep my stress down. Or I don't...
That was the point of the list.
Okay, never mind. Never mind about that one. Scratch it. Did I have anything else?
Stay on track day. We have a system.
Did I have anything else?
Did you talk more in seminar?
Oh, I did. Yeah, I actually, like, I didn't get extremely panicked and, like, have my heart burst out of my chest when I decided to talk. Now, I still was quiet, but I did talk in the big group stuff. So, yeah.
That's good.
Okay. What about you?
Well, I have to say that it would be a lie to say that this quarter was not drastically altered by my breakup. So,
yeah.
Honestly, if I look at the first 4 weeks of the quarter, I actually did really well. I started all my assignments not the day before they were due. I spent a significant amount of time just sitting down with the reading and didn't necessarily, like, read it all, but, like, spent time with it, which I feel like is the best thing.
Yeah.
I was doing yoga regularly, and, like, that was my, like, exercise and everything. So I was doing well, which, quick plug, we do yoga with Adrienne. It's on YouTube. Go check it out.
It's free. It's amazing. It's special.
It is very, like, relaxing, and, like, I don't hate stretching when I'm doing it, which I'm a person who hates stretching. So that's nice. And, like, she's got, like, a great sense of humor.
She's so funny.
Where she's very, like, she's all about mindfulness, so it's, like, there's plenty of that, but then she just has, like, these little jokes, and I'm like, they're just so cute.
Right. Or she'll just, like, start singing something from The Lion King. You know? And, like...
Yeah. So, like that. Anyway, but then, unfortunately, or fortunately, let's not make a judgment about what it was. But I've never been through a breakup before, and so what happened was I broke up and I decided that I didn't care about anything about my class. And I wasn't stressed out about my class because I showed up to most days. and I was like present and I did stuff in class, but outside of class I was just like done, over it. I wasn't interested. And so that's what happened. Actually, I'm not saying I'm really like, I'm not proud of it really, but definitely I'm gonna say like week 9 and 10, then I kind of got back, but it was more of like the frantic like scramble work, like trying to like get credit and like finish late assignments, and like it wasn't fun, and I wasn't focusing on like not stressing out about it. I definitely spent probably more time stressing than I actually did working.
Right.
So, but I think it's a lot harder to like come back from being behind, like really behind, than it is to like start out good.
Yeah.
So I think that once I got to that point, it was not great.
Yeah.
But I did talk in class the first few weeks and the last couple weeks.
Okay.
Actually, more than I have. And I don't know if that's just because it's not necessarily because I made a goal of it. I think I'm just more comfortable talking in class the more I'm in class. Because I talked in the big group like several times. And our class is supposedly has like 84 people. I don't think they're all showing up.
Yeah.
Ever. They never all show up. But it's pretty big, and I'll like talk in front of it. And I did like sit close to like the front every time, like that was my spot. And I did have a couple people I like talked to that I talked to more in the beginning, like more at the end, like I said. But that was really, I don't want to say I succeeded, but I also don't want to say, like, I don't know. I don't really count my de-stressing things as a total failure, because those were all really focused on school.
Right.
And the biggest stress in my life was
like, outside of school.
Outside of school. And so that wasn't
personal.
Really prepared.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my main stress from everything was unanticipated things from class. Like, I didn't think those things would, like, come up for me, or that we would be discussing them in that much detail and then stop all of a sudden. You know, like, those kind of things really, like, stressed me in a mental way, which I haven't really had in a class before. It's all been, like, I mean, sure, I had stress from, like, academic stuff, but it really was a lot of what was going on in my head.
Yeah.
And I didn't really anticipate that happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the end of the quarter.
Oh,
it's
thank
hard.
God.
It's hard because I try to like focus on some like big picture lessons that I definitely got. I think like a lot of learning happened over this quarter.
Yeah.
For me. And so that's nothing to like be upset about really, except for that I think that there's a lot of goals that I have that I didn't achieve, and so in that sense I am kind of like, I don't really know what to count this. Like, can we call it a draw?
Yeah.
You know?
We could, yeah.
Me versus the world. It's a draw.
Yeah. I don't know. It was really interesting because there was a lot of stress in like all of my classmates because of faculty, and they like wouldn't give a certain, like, it just seemed a little bit more scattered this quarter than it has been in the past with this specific teacher. And so I like, a lot of people were really stressed about it, but I was talking to one of my classmates and they were like, yeah, I don't think I've learned at all this quarter. Like, I don't think I've learned a single thing. And I was like, wow. Because even with all, like, the stuff I was dealing with because of, like, stuff we were talking about in class, and because of the fact that they didn't give us, like, the outline for our paper until week 9, when it was due week 10, and, like, we had already had to write a 5-page draft, and a bunch of people did it wrong, and, like, it was, like, stressful and everything. But I learned so much just about, like, myself. And we have a whole nother podcast on that coming up. But, and just, like, I feel like I learned more about different psychology theories and, like, a book we were reading was really interesting. Like, I really was interested in this person's perspective of teaching, or like how people perceive things, and it was just a really good quarter for learning, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Stress aside. Like, yeah.
Yeah. My teacher said, I literally just came back from my evaluation, and my teacher said that some people thought our class was really disorganized.
Wow.
And I told him, I was like, I feel like this class was really organized. Like, it all really made sense to me. Even, like, I think this has actually been one of the best classes in terms of, like, it's clear to me how all the material fits together.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas some classes have been, like, less so. Like, I think that you can make connections between any two subjects.
Yeah.
But I feel like with this class, it was just, like, very all clearly, like, so linked. And there was, like, pretty consistent structure every single week that was the same every week.
Mm.
And I was like, what is confusing about this to people?
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess
I don't get
I don't
some
know
of
what
the
that
things
means.
people say. Like, I've had people complain about, like, the readings in the sense that they were like, the teacher never told us about these readings. And I'm like, look at your syllabus. Like, it's literally in the syllabus. Like, you're complaining about nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't, or people will be like, they give us, like, so much blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you knew that from the beginning. Like, they're not being fake.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I'm like, people, what are you thinking sometimes?
Yeah. I haven't really had that in almost any of my classes where people complain about workload.
Oh, people bitch all the time in my classes.
That's so weird to me. Like, people complain about, well, they're not complaining. They're just like, man, I didn't have enough time because I did this and this. And then, like, I wasn't able to do it. But they're not like, why did the teacher assign this?
I will say I've had some of, I think everybody's been stressed out about the workload in my class if they're taking the 16 credits. Because the way the class is it's very divided, 8 credits and 8 credits. Like, 8 credits is just with one teacher. And we have readings for that and all that stuff. And then in the evening class, we have 8 credits, and it's more art related and everything. And it's with 2 teachers. And there's more people. And they don't really connect the two, like, the day and the evening. So it's very separated in that sense, I feel like. Like, we sometimes talk about evening and day, but we never really talk about the day program and the evening program. Because there's other people who aren't in the day program. So it's not like we can really combine it all. And then they assign us, like, readings, like 2 chapters for Monday. And then we have 2 chapters for Tuesday night. And then we have usually like 2 case studies due Wednesday morning. And then we have 2 chapters due Thursday night. And we have a bunch of assignments to turn in. So it was like a lot, and I think it was hard because of how separated everything felt. And I think one of my big lessons from this quarter going into the next one is I'm a person who really needs a planner. I didn't have a planner this quarter, and I really think it messed with me.
I've never used a planner, but I generally hate them with a passion.
I think I need a planner because we have like 3, sometimes 4 different places we have assignments due. And like they don't tell us at all, because why would they? We're college students. Like, I don't need them to hold my hand and tell me when anything is due. Like, everything, you know? Mm-hmm. But it was really hard for me to keep track of, okay, this mind tap is due these days, because it wasn't like it was always due on Monday. Sometimes it would be due on Wednesday, sometimes on Monday. So, like, I never knew when those were due, really. So I'd constantly have to check on the website. And I think I just need to, like, write assignments down. And I tried to on my phone, but I just don't think that works. Like, I need a hard planner. And I'm getting one that's pretty. Because I remember the kind I like. I'm very particular about my planners as well, in the sense of how I want them set up. And I've only found one company that does that. So that's what I'll do. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I had a group project this quarter that was, like, not good at all. And I think the lesson there was really just that I should probably just, like, try to be, like, take a leadership position even in subjects that I'm not as comfortable with or something. And then I think that really improves the group work. Because we were all just kind of like, so, should we do this? Should we do this? But there wasn't really any decisions being made.
Right.
And there was just, like, a complete, like, it was just, I think it just would have been better if we would have had, like, plans.
Right. Somebody to be like, okay, you guys want to do this? Well, that sounds great. Let's do it.
Right.
Come back with this done. We'll have another meeting.
Yeah, each person.
We'll see if it works. You know, like, even that.
Right. And so I tried to look at that as, like, I wrote in my self-eval about, like, this is, like, what I saw was the problem. This is what I think to do to fix it. Mm-hmm. And I think that it is good learning, because if you only have good group works, then I don't know. I mean, that's, like, fine, and it's probably, like, good. Like, and I have had good groups where I'm like, this is a really good experience. Mm-hmm. But, I don't know. Now I know to work to keep us out of there, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. This quarter was I think this quarter was most stressful and most frustrating to me because of the subject material. I just don't like like learning to code packages that involve language processing, and I was just like not about that life at all, and I hated it, and that was like very difficult because I really thought that I shouldn't hate it. Mm-hmm. Other people were kind of having a good time with it, like they were just like, you know, something didn't work out and they just laughed. Like somebody in our presentation, it was like the best presentation because these people were like, yeah, you tried to like make it work and then the program crashed and then you'd go out and drink and smoke, and then we tried this and like, but when that didn't work, like you had to go out and drink and smoke. And they were so funny, and they were just like clearly like they weren't experts, but they were just like laughing about it when stuff didn't work out. But I was just like really frustrated all the time. And so I think it's just not, at least I can say that specific thing is just like not for me. There's no reason I need to like that, but me thinking that I should be liking it and not was really hard for me. It was like two things butting up against each other. Because I feel like if you're like, oh, this isn't for me, but I need to do it to get credit in a class, I can do that. That's fine. But if I'm thinking this isn't for me, but thinking like, yes, it should be for you, and then like that's just like fighting over it, and meanwhile I don't get anything done because I'm just like not feeling good about it.
Yeah.
So that was one of the main struggles for me that I think really came out like when I was like down from my breakup, you know? I was already kind of like not, I don't know, I just didn't have patience for things that I wasn't enjoying. I lacked a lot of patience in that class that I think maybe would have helped, because I'm generally a really patient person.
Yeah.
I'm usually a really patient person. So for me to just be like, I had just like such a short fuse about it, and I was so frustrated so quickly, and I was just ready to give up, and I feel like that's not usually what happens, and so that was just like, I don't know. I'm frustrated just thinking about it. I'm still not over it, and that like bugs me because I want to be able to like work through it and be like, no, but you learned, you grew, and then you moved on. But right. I'm frustrated.
You're like, yeah.
Ready to pull out some trees.
I honestly, this is the first quarter that it's been like week 8 or it was really week 9 after Thanksgiving break. Week 9, I come back and I was just done. Like I was just shutting down. I was like, I'm not Like, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I'm done with the quarter. In my mind, it's done. And, like, someone in my class could really tell. They were like, yeah, you seem really done. Like, you've been really tired lately. And it was just, like, too much.
Yeah.
But I think that's just because I was really tired, and then, I don't know. I think it also, a lot of it, or not a lot of it, but some external things from school didn't help me with school.
External things from school. No. What is external things from school?
So, not things in school. Outside of school, in my social life or personal life.
Can you say what they are or no?
Just, like, dealing with people or, like, having things on my mind.
So, no, you can't say what they are.
No, I don't want to.
Okay, that's fine.
I don't want to. I mean, it was a lot of different things. So, things from my personal life interfering not directly with school, but in my ability to focus on school.
I feel like that is literally interfering with your ability at school.
Okay.
It's not indirect. It's a very direct connection.
Well, yeah.
So I guess that's something both of us had in common. Wow.
Yeah. And, I mean, I've had that in the past. And honestly, I kind of shut down. Because freshman year in the spring, my cat passed away, like, week 2, 3. And after that, I, like, kind of stopped doing the readings. And, like, I focused a lot more of my energy on social things, like hanging out with people and kind of doing my homework, but not really. And, yeah, I just kind of, like, didn't do a lot of stuff. So, it was very different. But it's not the first time. I just have stopped doing things because of external stuff.
Yeah. It's hard. I mean, I did feel kind of weird about it because I feel like it's kind of like, not like an excuse, but like a very, I don't know why I feel like it's lame. I guess not that it was lame, but that it made me weak, basically. Yeah. That I'm like, because I feel like there's things that could be wrong in your life where if they interfere with school, that I'm like, totally understandable, makes sense. Like, I don't know, like a death of someone close to you, or like if you have a disease. I don't know, I'm just making things up that aren't me, basically. But I'm like, being that, like, off because of, like, breaking up with someone, I'm like, that's very weak. But, like...
See, I don't perceive it that way, but I know you perceive it that way.
I don't think I would perceive it that way. Well, I think I am maybe a little bit harsher on other people, but definitely not as harsh as I am on myself about it. Yeah. But, I don't know, many people have confirmed to me that it's difficult to get over a first love, so... Yeah. I've been very,
They say it's the hardest.
I've been very, like, reinforced by other people, but I did just feel like that was kind of... I don't know. Like... Yeah, just that it made me weak, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly think it's made you stronger.
Well, I think coming out of it made me stronger, but the fact that I couldn't do both. And that's the thing, is that I think I could have either, like, processed the breakup, or I could have done schoolwork, but I don't think I was capable of doing both.
Yeah.
And I chose to process the breakup, and... that is like, and so I just dropped school. Like, I just dropped a bunch of stuff at that time because I'm like, I don't have the energy to deal with this. And so I just didn't. And so I think I am stronger now, but I guess I just think that somehow, like, my capacity to deal with a bunch of stuff should be higher or something.
But when it's of the heart... you can't always do that.
I definitely had some moments, like, I don't know if it was like 2 or 3 weeks after when I was like, I feel like this has made me feel like more of an adult than anything in like the past few months.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just because it's like a lot of like having to come to terms with like reality, I guess, which I don't know if that's like an adult things to do, but like this is reality, but also like I don't know why. Just like feeling it's like you're gonna suffer, but you're gonna be happy about it. I don't know why that like comes to mind. Like it was just yeah. So it was really influential on my experience of this quarter.
Yeah.
Like, if I think back to this quarter in, like, a couple of years, what I'll probably remember is, like, all of the cool linguistic stuff I learned and the fact that I had a breakup. And everything else will just be, like, whoo, out the window.
Do you think when you look back on it, maybe not now, but in a little while, do you think you'll think of it positively or negatively?
I think that if I have done enough positive things in the recent months, then I think I'll think of it positively, because it's easier for me to see it as a step in my learning process if I feel like I have just recently succeeded and redeemed myself.
Okay.
And I like have value in whatever I'm doing in that moment, and if I have that, then I can look back on it and I can think, you know, like, oh, that was just clearly part of the process.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's like, I don't know, 6 months later and I have not been doing great and just like been like dealing with several like things that didn't work out, not necessarily like failures, but just like things that I tried that didn't work, or like just other things that don't seem to be going right, then it's going to be harder for me to see that as a part of the process and instead see it as part of a bigger failure that I'm a part of, which is kind of, it's probably not like a super healthy thing for me, but I feel like it is important for me to feel like I'm going somewhere in my life and like making progress towards like a bigger goal in my future.
Yeah.
And I feel like failure is part of that, and I know that abstractly, which is why when I'm succeeding, I can see that struggles inevitably like they helped me grow.
Yeah, they worked out in a good way.
Yeah. But I just think I need to be in a more, like, stable footing.
Yeah.
For me to see it that way.
Right.
I don't know. Honestly, I have this, like, secret hope that I'm, like, one of those people who, like, because, and I don't know if this is just, like, people have romanticized stories of their own past, but a lot of people have stories, and, like, even, like, famous people where they, like, have like multiple like failures, disappointments, and all of this, and then they're like, but then I realized this and now I do this and I love it, and I just have like a secret hope where I'm like, please have that happen to me, where I'm like, I did this, it didn't work, and it didn't work, and then I found something that I really wanted to do, or like then I got into this, or like was introduced to like this area or something,
right,
like person or like company or something that I could like work for.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know.
Yeah. I think I really look at this class as a positive and like this quarter, because even with it being really stressful, it's like has made me, or not made me, but really encouraged me to look at certain things in my life that I hadn't really been looking at before, and to kind of acknowledge them. And also, like, I did gain a lot from it, and even though I'm like really bad at micro-counseling skills, I am also kind of like, okay, I see like with practice I will be good at these.
Yeah.
And like this is kind of, well, next quarter will really define whether or not I want to do it, like do what my plan is for my life. But no matter what, I'm stuck with psychology now.
Yeah, but I feel like your class is really, like, it's so helpful for the field that you're going into, if that is, like, what you end up doing, which at this point it, like, probably is. That's, like, the consensus, right? That's probably what you're doing. Like, clinical psychology.
Yeah, and if I'm not going into the specific part of clinical psych that I thought before, I'm going into some part of clinical psych.
Right. So it's, like, so relevant, and I think you are, like, learning a lot, and you're practicing a lot, and, like, I think it's just really... Scary. You see, you're good. You're on a path, scary. Though. But you have your path, and you're doing, like, well on it, and so...
Yeah. Dagny and I planned where we're gonna move. Or where I'm going to move.
Well, don't tell them.
I'm not going to. But at the end of this year, once I graduate. And honestly, it has me so panicked.
I know.
And, like, I think it's really good. But it's so scary to pinpoint an actual place. Like, we were talking about 3 different places. Mm-hmm. And now that we've, like, pinpointed the exact one... And, like, I'm still going to think about it. But, like, I think that's the best option. And it's... freaking
so
me
exciting,
out.
Though.
It's freaking
so
me
exciting.
out. And I'm just like, at least I have this, like, reassurance from my class that this is the right path I want to do. But it's so fucking scary. Like, oh.
Oh, wait, I have to tell the listeners this amazing story. So, guys, I was on Pinterest because... I found it online. I don't have a Pinterest account, but I was.
You can use mine.
Oh, I know. I was following some, like, very good Pokemon art, and it led me to Pinterest, and I was like, wow. And somehow Pinterest thought that, like, it was like some Pokemon art, and then like, but when I kept going, it just turned into, like, a bunch of, like, weird. Well, okay, there was, like, several things. So there was food, and there was lists that I think young girls must have made about, like, this is what we want from a boyfriend, and it was really weird. And it was, like, stuff like, you know, like, spell out I love you, don't, like, write the thing, and, like, girls want you to hug them from behind. And,
I like that, though.
I do too, but it's just, like, it was, like, this very demanding list of, like, 20 plus things. Like, I swear it was, like, 20 to 50 every time.
Oh my God.
Of this list of things that, like, boys should know to do. And I was just like, this is really weird. And what was the other thing? I mean, it showed me some, like, cool stuff. But anyway, so I read this thing, and I was like, oh my God, this is why Day and I need to live together forever. But I don't remember what it was.
That's your story?
That's the story.
Which you don't remember still?
No,
my God.
So the short version of the story is that I read something on Pinterest, and I thought, this is why Day and I should live together forever, but I don't remember what it was. And that's the story.
That's not a story.
It's a great story. I'm sure everyone would agree.
That's a statement that you have a very forgetful brain. She also, so we had, like, some electricity issues happening in our house, and so we had somebody come at 8 a.m. this morning and yesterday, and I'm such a nice person that I'm like, Dagny, you can, like, come in my room, because the issue was kind of in her room, so she couldn't, like, sleep through it. So I was like, Dagny, you can come in my room and, like, sleep while I, like, help the guy out if he needs any help, and I'm just, like, out there.
Yeah, because Day's amazing. Like,
yeah. And so then she, like, comes in my bed, like, almost before my alarm goes off, and she's like, I had something to tell you, but I forgot. And I'm like, oh my God, again.
I know, plus it's just, like, 7:50 in the morning. I'm, like, sort of, like, falling asleep, and I'm like, guess what? I have something to tell you, but I forgot. And that was the whole story. And then you left.
Yeah.
To go do the thing. I do remember what it was, though.
Oh.
It was the lesbian thing about putting the lesbians on the game. So, listeners, do you know this game where it's like writing, drawing, telephone?
Yeah.
It's like you draw something, the next person has to write what they see, cover up the drawing, and the next person draws what they see, and then cover up the writing. And so, when you pass it, the person only sees either a writing or a drawing, and basically the whole, like, story eventually changes.
Right.
We did that recently at a party we had, because we're cool people with parties.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone came that we invited, if you were wondering.
Every
person came.
And we know so many people.
Yeah, I know a whole one person.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we played this game, and it was really interesting to see, like, there's clear concepts that, like, some concepts people really seem to grasp
like
easily.
Cats.
Like cats. Cats were never misinterpreted. Like, if a cat was drawn, a cat was, like, received as the message.
Yeah.
Cats were very clear. The other thing that was very clear is outer space.
Oh, yeah.
Once the image got into outer space, it never got out.
No.
So, space was very clear. And the other thing that seemed to be very clear to people is, so there's a lot of people in these, like, messages, and pretty much everyone just draws, like, stick figures, because that's, like, the easiest. Some people are, like, real artists, but a lot of people draw stick figures.
Yeah.
And it seemed very clear to people that if there was, like, a man and a woman standing pretty close together, they were a couple.
Right.
Even without hearts.
Yeah.
They were a lot of times interpreted as a couple.
Even, like, so I think there was one where it was, like, a man and a woman, blah, blah, blah. And that was interpreted to, like, it being a couple with broken hearts.
Right.
Like, so it wasn't even, like, this couple has had their hearts broken when they broke up. It was, like, a man and a woman. And it didn't even involve love. And then all of a sudden it was about their relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing is that if it starts as love, it doesn't usually lose love, although actually it did sometimes, I guess.
Yeah.
But
anyway,
so I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. And so next time I play this game, which I'm planning to play with my extended family when they all come, is I'm like, if I ever see two, like, clearly, like, female stick figures drawn together, I'm going to say that they're lesbians.
Right. If there are two male figures drawn together, will you call them gay?
I could.
Will you say,
Do you think I should? I wasn't planning on it because here's the thing is
that
that
might
I feel
be
like
too much, but you gotta, like, I feel like do it to both sets, you know?
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes though people will draw a stick figure and they have long hair to say it's a girl.
Right.
But if it's like they'll sometimes just if they leave hair out, then that's like an ambiguous gender. People don't usually draw short hair on a stick figure.
True. Yeah.
Or if it's not, like, to clearly distinguish there's now a man and a woman.
Right.
Because I don't think I really put hair on any of my stick figures. They're just ambiguous little people.
Kind of. Actually, no, I wasn't the other night. It wasn't last night, right?
No.
Oh, thank God.
Can I just share, I think the funniest thing for me was somebody started out with a snowman and a reindeer fell in love.
Yeah.
And it ended with the snowman and the reindeer are in love. But during the middle, it was always a snowman and a reindeer and some sort of aspect of, like, having a weird relationship. Mm-hmm. But it wasn't, like, first it was like, oh, the snowman is into the reindeer, but the reindeer doesn't reciprocate. And then, like, the reindeer is trying to seduce the snowman.
And then the snowman's flipping off the reindeer.
Right. So it really...
Because the reindeer was winking at the snowman.
Right. So there was, like, some, like, winking going on. Like, they were, like, both heartbroken, and then, like, one of them was heartbroken. So it was really a complicated romance between this snowman and reindeer, but I just thought it was really cute how it ended with them being in love.
Right?
Started love, ended love, but the middle was rocky.
Oh, yeah. A real relationship.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, anyway, why did I even bring that up? Oh, because
that's what you were going to tell me.
Anyway, so guys, next time you play that game, if you see two people that are, like, have the long hair, just be like, they're lesbians.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. This quarter was a weird one. It's also really weird for me because, and I felt weird about this in spring when I was registering for this class, but this is the last class I'm going to take at Evergreen. Because it's 3 quarters.
Mm-hmm.
And I just completed the last quarter, my last fall quarter.
Yeah.
Like, that's scary as well. I don't like, I'm still ready to attach here. I'm also ready to, like, leave the second I graduate. But I'm, like, I don't want to detach. I don't like change. I like thinking about change, but I don't like implementing it.
Oh, it's gonna be so fun, though.
So fun.
So fun.
And I'm gonna be 21, so I'm gonna be able to do anything I want. I'm gonna be in a new city by myself. Fuck.
I know.
But
you'll feel so adult, but you already probably feel that way, so I don't know if it could even get bigger.
No. I think graduating from college, I'm gonna feel like I've really accomplished something with my life.
I feel like once you achieve your PhD, you will have reached a level of adulthood that I will never in my whole life reach.
Yeah.
Like, you're already more of a serious person than I am, and I feel like that will just, like, be really more obvious after you get a PhD.
So weird.
I will just stay
Oh my god.
a goof, I think.
Yeah.
Which I
I
am
don't think
totally...
I'll ever be a goof.
No.
Like, no.
It's like my goal to be a goof.
I know.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if we should tell them, but, okay, we've been going to some parks lately, just randomly, and...
Yeah, it's not related to anything that you need to know about.
And Dagny is so into just, like, playing on the structures, and, like, there was, like, this one where it was, like, a merry-go-round, but it had the netting on it as well, so you could, like, climb all over it, and she was just, like, doing it all, and I was just, like, standing off to the side being like, you're having so much fun. This is so fun. I don't need to do any of what you're doing.
Yeah. I like being playful.
You do.
And silly.
And I'm serious. I can be playful.
You can, but it's just...
It's
more
never
rare
very playful. And it's usually for a very short amount of time.
Maybe you'll get really playful when you're, like, 80.
I hope not.
No, but, like, not playful, but, like, fun.
Yeah.
You know,
thanks, I'm not fun.
Like, you've been serious your whole life, and then you start having fun at 80.
See, I thought you were going to say maybe I'll get fun when I have kids. But...
No, if anything, you'll get more serious.
So. I'll be really serious.
I think compared to, like, now, compared to when you have kids, you're bushels of fun.
Dagny, I need to marry a goofball as well.
You do. If you marry a goofball, then I'll like your husband.
Ooh. Yeah. I need a goofball that plans. I need you, but the male version. Not really.
You need,
you have
like...
some flaws.
Oh, thanks. I like how that's why it can't be me. It'd be like... Yeah. It just needs to be somebody that I like. Hey, maybe that means I should set you up with people. The only problem is I can't gauge attractiveness, so that makes me...
Well...
it's a flawed system.
I mean, you can just set me up with people.
Maybe I should just start getting a lot of male friends.
Yeah, and then I'll pinpoint which ones you need to hook me up with. Or I'll just hook myself up with them. I can't do that. Never mind.
Yeah.
I think we've gotten off topic.
Yes. We're moving into the future. Back to the present.
Back to the present.
To me, the quarter wasn't weird. It just feels like I am doing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so vague. You're just doing stuff.
Yeah. I'm sorry. It's just, I was trying to think of like a really good metaphor for it.
Okay.
And it was just like not really coming.
Just doing stuff.
It's kind of like I definitely know that I'm like learning and growing and trying to make plans and decisions and move into the future. But I just don't know what it will all amount to. If that's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'll ever feel that way until years later. You know what I mean? Like, maybe, I don't know. I'm a little salty about this quarter right now. I can't be super nice about it. I used my niceness in my first part of my self-evaluation, which was 2 pages. By the way, single space. They're like, yeah, about a page single space would be great. And I'm like, okay, cool. And then 2 pages later, and I was like, this all needs to be in here, so I'm leaving it.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. There's a lot of I went to a little gathering that one of my classmates had, and we were kind of all like talking about the quarter and like how people were doing and everything. And I was just kind of like, I went back and forth with being like, it's great, like, it was so good, to being like, it was a shit show. And I think it's just, I mean, I should have expected it. It's just this faculty's kind of style. And I think that the next couple of quarters will be a lot different, so it will be nice. And honestly, I'm just really appreciative of all the things I've learned and of this faculty for teaching this program. And I don't know, it's just good. Overall, I have positive things to say.
I would say that I definitely do agree with you about that. I think any class you can be positive or be like, that was a shit show, like, at the end. But I was, like, looking through my portfolio, and I'm like, wow, this thing is, like, thick. Like, I'm like, oh, I didn't do some stuff. But, like, I did a lot and so many assignments online. Like, it wasn't even... Yeah. So, I think I just need some space from it to...
Yeah, definitely.
Really, like... I just need some space from it. I don't know whatever, but I just need some space. Mm-hmm. But, like, I don't think it's ever, like, a positive, like, plan to be like, oh, yeah, that quarter was terrible. Like, this quarter was terrible. Because I think all quarters are very painful in different ways. So, like, I don't know. I think it was fine. I think it was good. It just is what it is.
It is what it is. And you experienced a lot during it. Mm-hmm. And look at you. Now, you've come out on top, I think. For the most part. Hopefully. I mean, you were up till 2 a.m. this morning, but, you know.
But even that was, like, good. I didn't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
I felt tired. I didn't feel bad.
Yeah. I definitely think I need this, like, 4 weeks that we have to, kind of... Reset, yeah, because towards the end, also, I got really mad at, like, almost all of my classmates.
I mean, they sound like...
Maybe it was only, like, joys. 70% of them, but I, like, wanted to punch some people.
Yeah.
And that's just me being stressed out and getting aggressive. But also some of the things that came out of their mouths, I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Stop it. Kind of.
Yeah. So, real quick.
Yeah.
Do we have, and what are our thoughts for the coming quarter? Like, obviously, we're going to need some space and a break.
Yeah.
But, like, so, like, not thinking too hard about it. Uh-huh. But, like, how do you feel about the next quarter?
I'm excited because I'm going to do an internship. And as much stress as it has already caused me, I think that it's going to be really good. And I'm going to learn a lot. And I'm going to be working in the setting a little. It's different than what I want to do with my career. But it is working with the system. And that's what I want to do. So I'm really excited about that. And I'm also we're going to learn some, like, ethics of psych, which I haven't done before. And we're going to do some different art. I'm really nervous about the art. But as long as I get a planner and I don't have to go to the studio every fucking weekend, it's going to be great. Because that was another thing about my stress is I was doing something almost every single day where I had to leave the house. And I felt like I didn't have a break. And I need to have a break sometimes in order to feel good. Okay, what about you? What are you looking forward to as you try to decide which program to take.
Well, I think that my plan is actually going to be really similar to what the last plan was, and hopefully nothing happens to shake that out of place.
Yeah.
Hopefully, because I feel like it was going okay. Yeah, I think... So I went to a career counselor, and I think what I should do is I should, make... And I kind of had, a plan, but what I need to do is, make a bunch of notes on it, and then I think I need to go back.
Yeah.
Because... Yeah. And that's what the career counselor kind of said, because they were like, yeah, you can come back, when you feel ready to, right. After you've looked up some of this stuff. So, I think I'm going to go back there and, just talk that out. But I think I'm just going to, do a different subject and hope for the best. I feel like I end every quarter extremely pessimistic, and then I go in a fresh-faced optimist to new classes. And
yeah.
Anyway, so I feel fine about it, I guess, now. I mean, I feel fine about it because it doesn't make sense to stress about something that is not getting anywhere.
Yeah.
And that's what I just have to be okay. So, just live your life. Things will work out.
Yeah.
I do think that having a belief that things will work out can do a lot for you. Not to say that you shouldn't, make an effort, but, just believing that sometimes makes it happen.
Mm-hmm.
So, things will work out. That's my motto for next quarter. Things will work out.
Stay tuned for what really happens.
Maybe this isn't a part 1, part 2, but in fact, it'll be a part 4.
Yeah.
It'll be after next quarter, and the
then
quarter
probably
after that.
spring. Yeah.
Do you want that? Tell us.
Yeah.
Send us an email.
Let us know. We have an email.
If we don't get an email, we won't do it. Just kidding. We don't have any
probably
other ideas.
will. Yeah, we need ideas.
Totally. Just out. I'm just kidding. We're totally creative people.
Oh, so creative. As you can tell. Okay. We'll be ending our podcast with a question for our lovely listeners. Today's question, will it ever be over? Please let us know if you know the answer.
I like how it's what is it? You decide.
Right. Just tell us.
I know. You can find us on Google Play, YouTube, Spotify, CastBox, and Messy. Just search for Basically Misled.
If you have questions you want us to answer or topic ideas you have for us, email us at basicallymisled@gmail.com.
Thanks for listening and good luck with your future endeavors.